we are in the sign of Capricorn right now, and Capricorn is a sign that really like to work. For me personally, I find, even though Kabbalistically it's considered to be not a positive month, for me it's always like in a great month from a sense of doing, because I don't know, where do I find my power to manifest things. That's why I always say, it's called kinat sofrim, jealousy of writers, not a real jealousy of Capricorns, that they have this ability to whatever they want to just go and do it. When I'm procrastinating like a good Virgo, Virgo always procrastinate because they're waiting for the perfect time, and there's not really a perfect time. So even Virgo is an earth sign. Many times you're going to find Virgos procrastinating things. Versus Capricorns, they always like, okay, this is my goal, the goat. I'm going to go to that mountain, I'm going to climb, and I'm going to get it. So I was like, that Capricorn sign. And I know we have overdose from Capricorn because all that COVID planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, were in Capricorn in the last year altogether. And they created this pandemic, and they asked each and every one of us to break through structures in life, because Capricorn is a structure. But there's a big difference when Saturn is in Capricorn and or Pluto is in Capricorn and is trying to break patterns, versus the Sun that just entered into Capricorn. And the Sun is abilities, it's light. So we can use that energy of Capricorn, not like the last year, that we had to break through it. We can use that energy of Capricorn to build, to manifest. We are in a new year. So, tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow. So we're going into a new year. So it's a great time in the month of Capricorn to make goals and to see what it is that we want, right? But we need to really remember what is that goal. Because like we said, Sarah and Yaakov, they lived two lives. And to live two lives, because when we're talking about, they use every minute of their life. So if you understand it like a Capricorn, and believe me, I saw especially past life Capricorns, people that needs to let go of that shadow of Capricorn. It's always like, they always think that they have to work very hard with their legs, have to run, have to do, it has to be physical work that they need to do to make things happen in their life. But that's not the case of like they used every minute of their life. Okay, because use every minute of their life, meaning they took life in a consciousness that everything is really good. And they didn't have to, even if they went through challenges, even Yaakov, last parasha was complaining to Pharaoh that he had a hard life, and yet he was using every minute of his life to really grow, because in every minute of life, he understood that I want to connect to that things that called life. Even in this portion, Jacob is giving a blessing to all the tribes, and when he's coming to Issachar, he's telling him, "Vayar menucha kitov," and he saw that relaxing is actually good. And you see a lot of discrepancy here, because it's like, so do we need to work hard? Do we need to rest? What is it that we need to do? How do we reveal that light? How do we connect to life? Okay, and we have, again, it's the last book of Bereshit. It's the manifestation of all that book, of all this foundation that called life. How do I connect to that essence called life? Do I need to rest? Do I need to work hard like a Capricorn? What is it that I need to do? So obviously, each and every one of us, because, every time we give a class, every person has to take it into their own life and into their own correction, because sometimes we say, yeah, we need to work hard. And people that always work hard need to say, okay, work hard for me, it's something else. So it's very important when we hear lectures to take it to our own life and to see where in our own life we can manifest it. Okay, because otherwise lectures can be very confusing. if we don't know ourselves, and if we don't know what is our work in this world. So the rest means the rest of the mind. Okay, the rest of the mind, the rest of the heart. We can work hard, we can do things, we can manifest, we can be busy. But when we're busy, it's because we want to, and it gives us energy, and not because we have to, and not because it's a burden, and not because we have no choice. And to keep all that worry that we have constantly on a daily life. And I always said, if those worries would actually help us, then okay, good, worry. But does it really help us to worry? Does it really help us to be upset? Does it really help us to have all this negative force that we are bringing into our life when things are not happening the way we want, or people are not talking to us the way we want, or we are not achieving what we want to have? So does it help us? That is getting us closer to our goal? The answer is no. And this is the whole study of Kabbalah. That's the restriction that we're always talking about. The restriction is like, right now I'm lacking something. So if I'm going to feel sad about it, do I draw that energy to my life? Does it help me? Probably not. Right? So what choice do I have? I think the really choice we have is really to connect to life in that moment. And says, okay, I don't have it at the moment. Someone didn't talk to me nice. Maybe I didn't get married. Maybe I didn't make enough money. Maybe so many reasons, to worry. But if I understand in the mind, and we talked about it in the past weeks, that the mind has to tell the heart, and the heart is the one who's helping us manifest. That the worry, that the resting that we are talking about is the resting of the mind and the resting of the heart, and to let go of the worries. And I know it's easy said than done, but let's think about what options do we have. When we are worried, does it get us closer? Does it get us what we really want? So we have planet Mercury. Right? We have planet Mercury January 1st, tomorrow. Sextile Neptune. Okay? And on January 4th, the same Mercury is conjunct Pluto. So let's see what is this dynamic of Mercury. And remember, Mercury is the planet that rules the North Node. The North Node is the things that we would like to accomplish in the next year, during 2021. From May 2020 to January of 2022, Mercury is in the sign of not Mercury, sorry. The North Node is in Gemini, and Gemini ruled by Mercury. So whatever Mercury is doing this year, we need to follow up on Mercury, because Mercury is how are we going to achieve that North Node? How are we going to achieve the goal of having information? Mercury is information, Gemini is information. So yeah. Because the information is not just information about life, it's information about me. If you remember so many times, how do I leave the slogans out and I get true information to my life to see how can I grow? So wherever Mercury is very, very important during the year of 2021. All right. So Mercury in the next week is going to go into, it's going to sextile Neptune, and he is going to conjunct Pluto. Both Neptune and Pluto, it's called trans-Saturnian planets. It's not personal. It's considered to be very, very big and very slow planet. And when we're a personal planet hitting a trans-Saturnian planet, it takes things from not a karma point of view, but really from a deep places. Okay, so Mercury is in Capricorn right now. Let's say it's gonna sextile Neptune. Now Neptune, on a good side of Neptune, not in the shadow, in the light of Neptune, is a very, very spiritual planet. Okay, so it's divine inspiration again, and it's to connect to a bigger purpose. So when Mercury is in Capricorn and is sextile is a positive aspect, to Neptune. We maybe can find, this is the week that we are doing our goals and everything. We were able to connect to Mercury's thinking. Neptune is a higher self, to really see how in the goal that we are making this year, how do we really connect to life, and how do we use this portion, to connect to life? Because Neptune, in the higher level of Neptune, is life, is divine. So how to connect to my higher goal? Not only I want to make money and I want to do this and I want to get married and I want to have children and I want to have that job and I want to, yes, it's all amazing, okay? But how do I connect to my higher self? Because the moment I connect to my higher self, I connect to life. And when I'm connecting to life and I can see my life from above, I see that the small things that bothers me, the small things that doesn't allow me to connect to life is not important. And even if they are important, if I'm connecting to it, if I'm worried, if I'm mad, if I'm sad, if I'm frustrated, if I give up, it's not getting me any closer. So when we have that Mercury and we have Neptune in a sextile, we can connect to our higher self, okay? Higher self. And look ourselves from above to see how do we like to see our life in the next year. Now, Mercury and Neptune are going to sextile only for a couple of days, but like we learn in Kabbalah, everything is in a seed level. So tomorrow, January 1st, when they're going to meet together, we're going to have the opportunity to make goals about our higher self and how do we want to see ourselves moving forward in our life from not from a physical point of view. Okay, and then on January 4th, when that Mercury will conjunct Pluto, conjunct means they're going to be together. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it will be 24 degrees. And they're going to come together again, and they're in Capricorn. This is where we're going to meet the other side of Capricorn, the shadow. Why? Because Pluto is about crisis, right? And never a crisis for the sake of crisis, but always like death in order to build, in order to create something new. So you see, so how in the week, we will be able to, again, get rid of belief system that doesn't work, worries, all the things that doesn't really serve a purpose in our life in Capricorn, thinking that we need to work very hard. How many times I see people that work so hard, so hard physically to get what they want, but deep inside, they don't believe that they can have it. Deep inside, so what we have Mercury sextile Neptune before we have that conjunction with Pluto. To believe that we can have what the things that we want in life, to believe that we can connect to life, to believe that we can release anger, to believe that we can release fears, to believe that we can release worries, to believe that we can do that, because as long as we don't really believe it, we can work very hard. But that's not the working hard that we are required to do to move on and to connect to life. Jacob make Joseph swear that he's going to take his body to the land of Israel. Where did we see that story again? When Abraham told his servant Eliezer, go find a wife for my son. And Eliezer promised that he's going to do that. And he said, don't promise me, swear to me that you're going to do that. So we have this, again, two stories about swearing. And what's the idea of the swearing? When you swear, you have no choice, right? And we want to take life like that, like we have no choice but to have good. We have no choice. For example, if a person wants to change jobs, and it's a nice salary, he doesn't really want to leave, he doesn't like the job, he doesn't feel happy, he doesn't feel fulfilled, he's not living in that job, he wants to do something else. But as long as nobody fired the person, or he has he has no choice but to leave, He's not going to find another job. Why? Because he's comfortable there. The money is okay. The money is safe. I want to feel safe. I don't know what's going to happen if I'm going to leave that job and find something else. So we have a choice. And you see it many times in life. We are compromised. We just want the safety versus life. If the boss will come to that person and says, listen, Mr. X, you're fired. Drama, right? But then the person has no choice. He has to find another job. But why to wait for the drama? Okay, why to wait for a boss to come and tell us you're fired and to go through, feeling bad about ourselves and feeling not worthy and feeling not appreciated? Why not to feel that I don't like that job and I have no choice. I have to find another job and to do everything in our power to find that other job. And then to go to the boss and says, listen, I love you, but I'm leaving because I found something else. I hope I make myself clear. It's like to connect to life is to really feel that we have no choice but to get what we want. And most of the time we don't get what we want because we are not connecting to life, we're connecting to death. And that safety, and it's a fake safety because it's not really safe. When a person go to work and is not happy and is not fulfilled and is frustrated, and then he's coming home and then he's frustrated on his kids and on his wife and is angry, is that life? Just because the salary comes regularly to the bank? So we are coming to a new year. Let's really look inside to see where we can connect to life, where we feel that we want something and we're not doing it because we are content right now. Because we feel that fake certainty, right? Or that fake safety. Okay, am I willing to take that chance? Mars is in the last degrees of Aries, still within that brave mode. We can make decisions that are brave for us, that will connect us to life, that will connect us to happiness. Like we have no choice. Swear to me that you're going to do that. The moment Joseph swore, he had no choice, but he had to find a way to take Jacob's body to the land of Israel. Because if he had a choice, he would just promise, and then he would go to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh did not want to release Jacob because Pharaoh knew that Jacob's body, even the body, because it says literally that Jacob did not die. Okay, Jacob did not die, even if they buried and their body and everything, but Jacob did not die. And Pharaoh knew that because Pharaoh, from the other side, not from the side of the light, from the side of the darkness, but he was very high, he was a magician. He knew a lot of things that come, he knew power, he knew real power. And it says about Jacob, then he actually arrived to Egypt, the famine stopped, even it was supposed to be for 7 years. And Pharaoh knew the power of Jacob. And when Joseph came to him and asked him to take the body to the land of Israel, Pharaoh said no. So how did he actually say yes? Should I tell the story? Why not? When Joseph came to Pharaoh to tell him about the dreams, Pharaoh was sitting 70 stairs high. Every stair represented a language. And every person that came to Pharaoh, if he spoke English, Pharaoh say hello, and the person will say hello, he will be able to climb one stair. And if he knew 3 languages, he would be able to climb 3 stairs to get into Pharaoh. And if he knew 10 languages, etc., etc. Pharaoh knew 70 languages, therefore there were 70 stairs to his throne. A night before Joseph went into Pharaoh to tell him about the dreams, an angel came and taught him 70 languages. So when Joseph came to Pharaoh started to talk to him in different languages, and Joseph started to climb until he came to the 70 stairs and he came to the level of Pharaoh. When he came to the level of Pharaoh, he started to speak with him in Hebrew. And Pharaoh did not know Hebrew since it is the holy language. So when Pharaoh saw that he's speaking one language more than him, he freaked out, because it says that if a person will know more languages than Pharaoh, it will have to replace him on the throne. So Pharaoh freaked out because, oh my God, that man can take my throne, can take my power. That's why, by the way, he told him, you need to swear to me that you're never going to tell anyone that you know more languages than me. And in return, I will give you all the power that you need. The only power that I will have is the throne. And that's the power that Pharaoh gave Joseph, right? Because in what sense? Because of a dream, someone will just give you all the power that Pharaoh gave to Joseph. So Joseph swore to Pharaoh that he will never tell nobody about it. So when Joseph went to Pharaoh and asked to take Jacob's body to Israel, and he said no, he went to one of his servants, and he whispered in his ear, and he says, tell Pharaoh that I swore to my father that I will take him to the land of Israel. And if you're going to make me break my swear to my father, I will have to break the swear that I did for you. And I will tell people that I know more languages than you are. Then Pharaoh didn't have a choice, and he had to release the body of Jacob. Okay, but there is always a way, and in the month of Capricorn right now, we can actually we can actually achieve it, right? Because when we feel there is no choice but to be happy, there is no choice but to get what we want, there is no choice, and we're doing it with that peace of mind, and to know that, imagine we can live life in peace, in serenity, in certainty, no matter what. Okay, and that's we can get in this portion. It's a very, very strong portion that finished the whole book of the Keter of Genesis. All the foundation was laid for us there. You know that every Friday night, fathers or mothers bless their children with the blessing that Jacob gave to Joseph, Ephraim, and Menashe. Yesimcha Elokim keEphraim ukeMenashe. Okay, that God will make you like Ephraim and Menashe. That's the blessing that we give to the children every Friday night. And why would they give them? Why God will make you like Ephraim and Menashe and not like Abraham and Isaac or Abraham and Jacob? I mean, these are the father, or like Joseph, or like, why Ephraim and Menashe? And if we're looking at the whole book of Bereshit, there's always problems with brothers. We're starting with Cain and Abel. So Cain, killed Abel because of jealousy. And then we are going into Isaac and Ishmael, right? And then we're going into Jacob and Esau. And then we're going to Joseph and his brothers. And there's always problems within the brothers. Always one belong to the right side, the other one to the left side. There's always issues. And for the first time, the two sons of Joseph that merited to be two tribes eventually, instead of Joseph. Because the younger one, when he received the blessing that he's going to be bigger than the older one, he didn't feel for a second that he's better. Oh, you know how sometimes you don't have power, someone else has more power than you, and then you're like, oh yeah, now I have the power, now I feel great. Power corrupt, literally, and that's what we see in the world all the time. No matter what organization, no matter where we are, no matter what kind, if it's pharmaceutical, if it's government, if it's spiritual, if it's wherever it is, the moment there is power, there is corruption. And every time a person feels a little bit more powerful, he feels that he can be better than someone else. And that's, by the way, what humanity right now, according to astrology, will have to fix. But he didn't feel for a second that he's better. He still respected his older brother. He still gave him, looked at him, looked up to him like his older brother. He really appreciated him. He didn't feel for a second, wow, look what I've got. And the older one, not for a second think, oh my God, the power has been taken away from me. My brother will be better. He was so happy for his brother. He was like, wonderful. I'm so happy for you, young brother. I'm so happy that you will be bigger than me. I'll be big too. But you can be bigger. That's fine. I am who I am. I know I am. And I know my power. And I'm happy for you for whatever you have. And that's beautiful bond between these two brothers. These two brothers. That's why, it's an example. And it's still in the book of Vayechi. It's still the foundation. These two amazing brothers that we could feel for each other. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what I have. I want to be the best of who I can be, and it has nothing to do with who you are. I can only look at me. I can only look at what I can change. I can never change anyone else. I can never change anyone else's opinion. I'm never better than anyone else. If I'm better than you, doing one thing, you're better than me doing something else. So we always complete each other. We are always one. And the Rav is saying about this portion that that's the goal. And you see, we are in a new age of Aquarius. And Aquarius is communities and is togetherness. And that corruption, yes, it will take time to fix, but it will not last. To look at ourselves like we are one. And most of our worries, if we really, really pay attention, if I'm honest with myself, what do I want in life? What's going to make me happy? I'll see that many things of what I want, it's not because of me. It's because I want to be better than someone else, because it's not fair that this one and not this one, because everybody thinks that if I'll have it, then I'll be fine. It's all not mine. But if we connect to really ours, what we really, really want, we see that half of the things we want, we don't really want. And we want it because of competition, because of ego, because of whatever.